This is called the Vanishing Frequency. Part 1. The Signal. Evelyn Monroe was an audio engineer for a small public radio station in rural Montana, the kind of place where cattle outnumbered people, and every story was about either the weather or high school sports. But Evelyn had a particular hobby. She was obsessed with numbers stations. Those eerie shortwave radio broadcasts that repeat coded messages in monotone voices. A relic of Cold War espionage that still broadcasts to this day for reasons nobody could quite prove. It started one night in February. Evelyn stayed late after a shift, scanning the shortwave dial for a new signal to record. That's when she heard it, a faint, rhythmic series of clicks, static, and what sounded like a child whispering. She hit record and listened for 3 hours. The broadcast repeated every 17 minutes. Then it stopped. Mid-sentence. Replaced by dead air. The next day, she uploaded the clip to an online forum for radio enthusiasts. Within hours, her inbox was flooded. Not with the usual hobbyists, but with people warning her to take it down. One message from an anonymous user called Dead Cipher simply read, "They'll come for you now. Don't listen again." Naturally, Evelyn did the opposite. Part 2. The Echoes. Over the next week, Evelyn became obsessed. She set up the old Hallicrafter shortwave receiver in her basement. She barely slept. She discovered the signal would return, but only at odd intervals, never the same frequency twice. Sometimes the voice was English, sometimes Russian, sometimes a language she couldn't even identify. Always the same pattern. A string of numbers, a burst of static, then a word in English. Reclaim. She began to notice things. A white van parked across her house at night. Her landline would ring once at 3:30 a.m., then stop. One night, she returned from the station. She found her basement door open and her equipment smashed, but her tapes were missing. Evelyn's boss, concerned about her erratic behavior, suspended her. Her best friend tried to stage an intervention. Evelyn ignored them all. She had found coordinates hidden in the signal, a pattern that, when decrypted, pointed to a place deep in the Bitterroot Mountains, near an abandoned military listening post from the 1960s. Part 3. The Listening Post. She left before dawn, driving a borrowed Jeep up logging roads slick with spring melt. By dusk, she found the chain-link fence, rusted, half buried with snow. The place wasn't on any modern map, but its name surfaced in declassified files. Camp Echo, a Cold War signet site used to intercept Soviet transmissions. Officially, it had burned down in '72. Inside, the concrete bunker smelled of mildew and something sour. Old radio consoles lined the walls, stripped of tubes and wiring long ago. But the central chamber, she found something impossible. A modern laptop, humming softly, plugged into a jerry-rigged transmitter. The screen showed the same numbers she had heard, the cycle repeating, broadcasting, somewhere. She didn't hear footsteps until it was too late. 4. The Custodians. They called themselves the Custodians. 3 men in black parkas and snow boots, armed but not overtly threatening. Their leader, a thin man with silver hair and a voice like gravel, called himself Silas. Silas explained the signal was not a relic. It was a firewall, a containment field. The numbers weren't codes for spies. They were a lattice, an acoustic cage holding back something buried beneath the Cold War's deepest secrets. Project Vanishing Point, he called it. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, the U.S. military experimented with sonic weapons to disrupt enemy communications. What they accidentally uncovered was a resonant frequency, a tone that could alter perception, erase memory, even fracture the barrier between what is real and what is not. The original test site had been here at Camp Echo. Something leaked through, something that feeds on awareness. If the signal stops broadcasting, the containment unravels. People start seeing it, and once you see it, it sees you. Silas said the signal had been corrupted. Evelyn's recordings, uploaded and duplicated, weakened the lattice. The more people who heard it, the more it spread. Reclaim, the voice said. Reclaim what? Reality itself, he claimed. Evelyn laughed. It sounded absurd, a conspiracy piled on top of old spy games and ghost stories. But when Silas showed her the tapes, raw surveillance footage of men dissolving into static when the signal failed for 2 hours in 1987, she stopped laughing. Part 5. The Vanishing Point. The custodians didn't want to kill her. They needed her help. Her engineering skills could repair the transmitter, strengthen the lattice, but they couldn't risk her leaving. For 2 days they worked together, wiring the bunker's ancient equipment to boost the signal. At night, Evelyn dreamed of a shadow with no shape, flickering at the edge of her vision. She began to hear the numbers even when the radios were off. When the final test was ready, Silas handed her her headset. The tone hummed in her skull like a migraine wrapped in static. She realized then that the lattice was powered by human consciousness. The listeners themselves kept the thing caged. It needed a guardian, a single mind to hold the signal at its core. They hadn't brought her here to fix the machine. She was the machine. She tried to run. The snow outside was falling in the way and it made it look like the world was unraveling. The white van was waiting by the tree line. The last thing Evelyn remembered was the sky. A smear of flickering black shapes reaching down. Epilogue. They found her Jeep abandoned in the spring thaw, but no trace of Evelyn Monroe. Some say you can still hear her voice if you tune your shortwave to just the right frequency on a winter night. A woman whispering numbers, caught forever in the lattice. Some say she's still fighting, holding back the thing that she wants to reclaim the world behind the static. And if you listen too long, maybe you'll hear it too.